Stocks continue to oscillate between gains and losses in wary trading ahead of the weekend. Industrials seek out some gains while utilities and metals drag today.
MSCI tells CNBC-TV18 that it will lower the free floats of Adani Enterprises, Adani Total Gas and Adani Transmission as well as ACC from the close of February 28th. It plans to leave the free floats of other Adani index stocks unchanged.
United Brewery sees a big miss on profitability estimates and Voltas too falls way short of the margin expectations, but HPCL posts surprisingly higher marketing margins and Zomato steers towards profitability in foods business.
Aurobindo Pharma gains after its sales come well ahead of expectations even as margins contract, but Lupin skids despite a pickup in the US sales as profits fail to meet expectations.
Corporate leaders flock to Uttar Pradesh for its investment summit. Reliance Group Chairman Mukesh Ambani pledges investments of an additional 75,000 crore rupees in the state over the next 4 years. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar and with me is my co-anchor Mangalam Malu. So Mangalam, market's still looking weak today, but there are some green spots and earnings-based reaction as well. So let's take a look at the market. Nifty 50 with 72 points cut at the moment, yo-yoing in a very tight range today as far as Nifty 50 is concerned ahead of the weekend, and there is some amount of sluggishness. Well, Bank Nifty is outperforming the key indices, was minor green tinge on Bank Nifty for a few minutes, but it is also just toying and flirting with that flat line at the moment. Mid cap showing much more resilience, comfortably in the green, but not really comfortable when it comes to an upside from here on. So let's see whether there's a trend reversal from the lunch hour, but advanced decline ratio because of the mid cap universe looking in the green is trending in favor of the advances at the moment. When it comes to the green tinge amongst the Adani group of stocks, which are in Nifty 50, Adani Ports is in the green at the moment. HDFC Life, Hero MotoCorp, UPL, Cipla and SBI amongst banks are some of the ones which are showing the green tinge. But Reliance Industries, the big boy, remains in the red along with some of the big IT names as well as metal names which are down in trade today. Mangala.
Yes, absolutely. We will monitor the health of the market as we go along. The good part is that lower levels we are seeing support. At high levels, however, we are seeing resistance. The Nifty continues to be in that band of 17,750 to around 18,000. The broader markets doing extremely well. Zomato has recovered about 4.5% from lows as well. But the focus remains the Adani Group, and the MSCI has now released the details of its February index review. CNBC-TV18 also learns that the MSCI will implement changes to the free float and market capitalization in the Adani Group stocks from the 1st of March. Vivek joins in to tell us more about that. Vivek, what are the details of this review?
Well, so, the uncertainty regarding the treatment of the Adani Group stocks within the MSCI index has now given way to clarity. MSCI has told CNBC-TV18 exclusively that, now what they're going to do is, at least in the Feb index review, they're going to reduce the weightage of 3 of the stocks that had the highest weightage in the MSCI Standard Index. So the 3 stocks that we're talking about are Adani Enterprises, Adani Total Gas, and Adani Transmission that had the highest weightage will see cuts as far as the weightage is concerned within the MSCI Standard Index. So this, according to analysts, will lead to some selling pressure on February 28th, and the changes will be effective March 1st. So Adani Enterprises expect to see outflows of over $180 million. Adani Total Gas expect to see outflows of over $120 million. And Adani Transmission expect to see outflows of a little over $160 million. Now, it's important to note that all of the Adani Group stocks that were part of the MSCI index continue to be a part of the index with, just the weightage being reduced. Now, along with that, the other stocks that have been added to the index are Bank of Baroda as well as CG Power. And the stock that has been deleted from the MSCI MSCI Standard Index is actually Biocon. So Bank of Baroda analysts are expecting flows of over $130 million, while CG Power expected to see flows of close to $150 million. Biocon is expected to see outflows of over $75 million. Lastly, there are a whole host of other stocks as well that will be impacted, given the fact that in the MSCI Small Cap Index, there are 24 additions and 5 deletions, and a lot of these stocks are active in the session today.
All right, some very important details and stock-specific inflow as well as outflow there. Thanks so much, Vivek, for getting us all those details from MSCI Index. Moving on then, the UP Global Investors Summit was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi this morning, and the summit aims to bring in investment flows to the state. Now, the summit was attended by industry heavyweights like Reliance Industries CMD, Mukesh Ambani, Tata Sons Chairman N. Chandrasekaran, along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and more. Let's now listen into what Reliance Industries Chairman Mukesh Ambani and Tata Sons N. Chandra had to say at the occasion.
Jio will complete its rollout of 5G to cover every town and village in this state by December of 2023, that is in 10 months from today. Jio platforms will help modernize all areas of business and industry, agriculture, social sector, and governance. We plan to pilot our 2 new innovative initiatives, Jio School and Jio AI Doctor, to bring top-class education and healthcare most affordably to villages and small towns across the state of Uttar Pradesh. We always back our words with action. When I last visited the summit in 2018, Reliance was just beginning its journey in Uttar Pradesh, and I had committed to Yogi ji that Reliance would be a reliable partner to Uttar Pradesh. True to our word, from that day till now, we have invested 50,000 crores in Uttar Pradesh. Our businesses have not only been growth multipliers as they enable several sectors of the economy to grow, but also employment multipliers. Our investments have generated over 80,000 direct and indirect jobs in the state. Today, I am happy to announce that we plan to invest an additional 75,000 crores in UP over the next 4 years across Jio, retail, and renewable businesses.
India's dream of becoming a $5 trillion economy, 10 trillion, and again 25 trillion when we become 100 years after independence is very much achievable, and we are well on our path. India has adopted digital in a very unique way to solve problems at scale, both in public services delivery as well as in the private sector. Second, we have a most successful IT industry which has enormous capability. And third, we have a talent pool which is very unparalleled. We have started the Amrit Kaal with the first budget, which I would say lays a very strong foundation, because we are seeing a tremendous investment towards infrastructure development and also policies that will promote huge consumption. I feel we are in a situation where we are going to see growth led by infrastructure as well as consumption. We are going to see rural growth as well as urban growth, domestic growth as well as exports growth. It is a very unique situation because this has not happened.
Let's take a short break. On the other side, we get you a conversation with the Uber India CEO on the impact of electronic vehicles and the impact that it could have on cab aggregators. Stay tuned. Well, there's been some recovery from the lows on the mid-cap index as well as the Nifty as well. Pfizer is one of those stocks from the broader markets which has actually spiked to the high point of trade, a gain of almost 2.5%, but from the lows, it's a near 4% rally that we've seen on Pfizer. The other one is Delta Corp, which continues to do well, 6% off lows, but 5% higher as we speak at the high point this afternoon. But let's move on to the news coming in from the auto space itself. On the sidelines of the Hyderabad Mobility Week, Parikshit Luthra, our colleague, spoke to Prabjit Singh, who's the president of Uber India, about the impact that electric vehicles could have on the cab aggregator.
In my mind, there are three big shifts which need to happen. Number one is affordability. We need to find a way to further bring down the entry-level price point for the vehicles. Today, still a decent range four-wheeler comes at a price point which is about 12 lakhs. That needs to come to closer to 8 lakhs. So combination of subsidies and combination of innovation in financing will help reduce the barriers of access for drivers and fleets. The second thing which needs to happen is a very systematic industry and government and infrastructure provider coming-led approach to put the charging infrastructure and being able to support it by green capital, which has a longer gestation return, which is enabling the early stages till the time capacity utilization of the charging infrastructure goes up for this to still be available at attractive prices.
Right.
So that's the second one. I think then third is to reduce the ongoing economic gap in terms of operations. I do believe that this is a great window for us as a country to eliminate the difference which we have historically created between a commercial vehicle and a private vehicle.
Right.
Where historically commercial vehicles tend to be taxed more, higher toll charges, road taxes, etc. I think it's good to see many state governments taking a lead in actually eliminating this divide which exists.
So you only have one 10 lakh EV car in India right now. Is that somehow a barrier to greater adoption in the cab aggregator segment? Would you need more options probably in the 6 to 10 lakh category?
It indeed is. I do think the sweet spot is an 8 lakh price point on road, which will then create economic parity. And when it comes to taking a decision today, I gave an example of a driver in Delhi, Raj Singh, who today, if he has to go to the market, will find it hard to justify economically that he should invest in an electric vehicle. But if the price point comes down to 8 lakhs, through combination of means, the economic decision will actually become far more easier for him to make.
All right, so that's Uber India really talking about the way forward. Let's take a short break on Business Lunch on that note. But on the other side, earthquake rescue operations continue in Turkey as well as Syria, even as the death toll really surges in that region. Details on the other side after a very short break. Stay tuned.
All right, from grim situations, let's move on to some exciting news. Well, India continues to expand its footprint in the space. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO as we know it, successfully launched the second small satellite launch vehicle earlier today. Remember, the launch took place from the Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota this morning with the aim of putting 3 satellites into the orbit. The satellites include US-based Janus-1 and Chennai-based Azadi Sat-2. The goal with this rocket is to enable low-cost access to the space. The news of this successful launch was also tweeted out by ISRO's official Twitter handle. And remember, this comes after the first attempt at this was a mild failure. So the second attempt is success. And as they say, the second time, it's sweeter.
That's right. So you got it right, and proud moment there. So with that, completely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch. But news and updates really continue on the other side on Mid-Cap Radar. So stay tuned to that. And from the entire team of Business Lunch, thanks so much.